Have you ever hit a milestone you worked really hard for and then felt an unexpected emptiness? In today's episode, Alan Lazaros shares the wake-up call that shifted him from high achiever on autopilot to intentional, aligned living, and the patterns he had to break to get there. This is the Your Next Success podcast, and I'm your host, Dr. Carolyn Sangal. I'm a life-first career coach and strategist on a mission to normalize questioning your career, because I believe each of us is made on purpose for a purpose only we can fulfill. The longer we live out of alignment with who we are, what we do best, and why we're here, the more we miss out, and the more the world misses out on what only we can give. The Your Next Success podcast is where we explore how to build a career that truly fuels your life. We talk about self-discovery, smart job search strategies, professional growth, and you'll hear stories from people who've navigated big career transitions themselves, so you can see what it's really like to make bold changes and feel inspired to create your own version of authentic success. One that is aligned, meaningful, and truly yours. Today's guest understands the inner world of high achievers because he is one. Alan Lazaros is the founder and CEO of Next Level University, a global top 100 podcast with more than 2,200 episodes and listeners in over 180 countries. He blends engineering thinking with personal development and lived experience to help people reach their potential in health, wealth, and love. His story is grounded, honest, and relevant for anyone craving alignment, and I am thrilled to share it with you. This episode's conversation goes deeper than career change. It gets right into the psychology of high achievers, the drive, the pressure, the patterns we adopt to be everything for everyone, and the moment we finally realize isn't working. Alan shares how his early loss, family upheaval, and a head-on collision at 26 forced him to question the life he had built and the identity he was carrying. In this episode, you'll hear how achievement becomes a survival strategy, the subtle signs that tell you it's time for alignment, the 3 phases of Alan's journey and the through line connecting them, how he now designs his days with purpose, service, and well-being. This is a powerful listen for anyone who looks successful on paper, yet feels misaligned inside. Alan, I am so super pumped and excited to have you as a guest on Your Next Success today. How's everything for you today?
So far, so good. I've had 2 excellent, 1 coaching session and 1 podcast. It's been tremendous. It's been awesome. And thank you so much for having me, seriously. Because at one point 10 years ago, when I first started in this space of podcasting, coaching, and training, it was crickets. So I'm very grateful to be here.
Yeah, I remember a few weeks ago, I was like, really though, what's in it for you? Like, I'm at the beginning and you're more than 2,000 episodes in. And you were so gracious to say, you know what, there was a time when someone took a chance on me. And so you're kind of paying it back or paying it forward. And I'm paying it forward. So I do promise, somebody hold me to this. When I'm 2,000 plus episodes in, then I absolutely better be also meeting with people who have less than 20 published in this moment.
I will hold you to that. That's
Please.
wonderful.
Yeah.
And it's a win-win because you get to practice your craft, you get to impact people and connect with people. It is a win-win. It's my favorite work in the world. It's my third favorite work, because my favorite is coaching one-on-one. My second is training one to several. And my third favorite thing in the whole world to do is podcast.
Awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. That's awesome. Okay, so as you may remember, I love career transitions. I think some of the work that we do is similarly focused, but I'd love to kind of go back to your story and kind of get a little bit deeper than maybe the surface level kind of thing. Can we dial it way back?
A lot of way.
Yeah, and I know we've got a few. There's a few really interesting pivots by choice or by force that your life went into and your career went into. But let's take it back to childhood. Tell me a little bit about that.
Okay, so I'm 36 now. I'm going to try to condense 36 years into a very short amount of time so that we can get to the goods. But I do think it's important to know who you're talking to. So, started off very tough. Born and raised in Massachusetts. I had a very unfortunate thing happen when I was very young. So, I had a mom who was 31. I had an older sister who was 6, and I was 2.5, almost 3. And my birth father, John McCorkle, passed away suddenly in a car accident. Very sudden, very tragic. Harder on my mom and my sister than me because obviously I was still an infant.
Yeah.
In some ways, hard on me too because obviously I never got a chance to meet my own father.
I'm sure you met him. You just don't have these conscious memories.
I only have one. He used to put me on a pillow and lightly bring me up. I don't know if I dreamt that or if it's real, but yeah.
I mean, how could it not be?
I think it was real. I do think it's real.
Seeing pictures, do you study those? I mean, I study pictures even now, trying to look back of, was there a clue? What was the thing? Was I actually happy? Was I not? But like,
always. Yeah. So smart.
Yeah.
Yep. I have actually a folder called Dad with
Oh,
all of the pictures of him. Yep. And I also have another folder called Perspective, which is pictures of me in college. No, not just college, but
well, I am so
growing up.
thankful that the internet was not a huge thing when I was in college. So God bless you. I'm a little bit older, probably 13 years older.
Oh, really?
Moment. Yeah. So I
Okay,
lucked
gotcha.
out.
Yeah,
There
so
are
I
a few
was-
pictures that exist that could be incriminating,
Gotcha.
and they're not all over the internet. So
God, yeah. When I first became a quote unquote public figure, I went back and I combed because for me, I'm in the generation when Facebook first started, it was only college students. No adults were on it. It was only, you had to have a college email to get on Facebook back in those days. So yeah, there's a few things on there that I had to take down, but nothing crazy. I'm being playful. But anyways, so
what did you know about your dad? Like, what did you know as far as like him? What did he do? What did he like? What were you told as you were growing up?
So back then I didn't know anything, but as I've grown up, I've definitely learned a lot more about him. Very, very outgoing, very almost to the point of reckless, apparently. Extremely fun, extremely funny, and just a bright light in everybody's life from what I can tell. Now, it wasn't until my 30s that I started started doing therapy in my 30s. I have a therapist named Carol, and I started to understand there's pros and cons to everything. Every strength comes with a weakness. And so the strength was confidence. He was in sales. Everybody bought from John. Everybody loved John. I mean, that's the impression I get my mom basically says that during his wake and funeral, they practically had to shut down Holden, which is the town he grew up in, because there were so many people that came, like 600 people. And so he had a huge impact in a very short time. He died at 28.
What?
And actually, that's one of the things that has driven me in hindsight is legacy.
Yeah.
Because I grew up my whole life hearing about John and seeing how much he impacted people, even from such a young age, was always very powerful for me.
So did you kind of instill like you want to do that, or you want your life to also be impactful? When did that come in for you?
Yeah, when I got in my car accident at 26. So I think it was instilled in me unconsciously from a young age of just, I think as a young boy, it's more significance driven. How to be significant, how to be seen. You think I look young now, imagine me in high school, right? So I couldn't get girls to look at me, never mind be with me. And now that's very much changed, which is good. But ultimately, I'm happily in a long-term relationship. But at 26, that was when I had my wake-up call. I got in a car accident myself, head-on collision. And it was with a lift-kitted pickup truck. Fortunately, no one was killed, but this was not a fender bender. This was head-on collision, 30 miles an hour, like life or death type. We're very lucky to be alive, quite frankly. The only reason we are is I was driving a 2004 Volkswagen Passat. I used to call it the tank. And both airbags deployed. Yeah, good thing. One of the safest cars apparently ever built. So,
Who bought that car?
Yeah, I did. And well, back then I was just trying to save money. I don't want a depreciating asset.
Yeah. So you're in this car accident, but I also want to dial it back a little bit, and then I want to come back to this. As you were growing up, like let's say when you kind of went to school and all that, what types of activities, things, subjects did you enjoy?
Math. Obsessed with math and science. Absolutely obsessed. Loved it. Without a question, the math and science nerd. Yeah. I call it STEMBIF, science, technology, engineering, mathematics, business, and finance. And those are the things that always came very, very, very naturally to me. And English and writing and communication. And I was actually just on a podcast with an engineer, and him and I talked about how hard it is as an engineer to have a math modality of thinking. And you think in graphs like XYZ axis, and a lot of people, quite frankly, don't. So it's very hard to communicate as an engineer to people who aren't.
Okay, so school-wise, you're growing up, you are loving math and science. You're kind of realizing you've got this maybe engineering mindset, although you might not have the words in that particular time. And are you recognized for those things too? Right? You're getting all the awards, all the accolades.
Very much. My mom said, she tells me the story. My 7th grade math teacher, his name was Mr. Ballounis, and she came into parent-teacher conference, and his first reaction was, "What are you doing here? Like, Alan's fine. You don't need," because back in those days, you basically don't go unless something's wrong.
Interesting.
And she said, "I'm here because I need to know if this is going to stick." And Mr. Ballounis told her, apparently, yeah, without a question. Like, he's gifted.
Absolutely.
And she got me physics tapes, and it was back VHS days. And yeah, ever since, I mean, for me, I always wanted to be a math teacher. And I used to literally say, they don't make enough money, unfortunately.
Yes.
And now I teach math to business owners is my playful joke, because I coach 21 business owners now. And the truth is, if you run an online business and you don't know mathematics, you're leaving so much opportunity on the table. So we reverse engineer dreams, goals, metrics, habits, priorities, skills, and identity work. And it's all based on mathematic modalities. So again, I digress, but
I
ultimately,
resonate. I resonate with it a lot. I was recognized at a young age for math, for science. My dad was a teacher, principal, superintendent. I love school. I love learning. I wanted to be a teacher. And he said, "Girl, I don't think that's going to support the lifestyle I think you want to be accustomed to. Do science, do math," right? So got a bachelor's in chemistry, a PhD in polymer science, rubber, plastics. I studied cracks and crack propagation and fatigue. And I studied them to see how they broke so I could make them stronger. And now, decades later, I do it with people. So I know how cracks start. I know how they grow, but I want to help people be more resilient, stronger, and help them to have lives that they love and careers that fuel it, not drain it. So
very nice.
Totally resonate. Okay, but let's go back. What did your mom do? What was her profession aside from being an amazing mom?
She says she was a cook. She didn't like when I would call her a lunch lady. But the truth is, she was a lunch lady, and she also did culinary stuff. And she was at a trade school, so I guess she taught other people how to cook too. So she was a culinary instructor / lunch lady, whatever way you want to frame it. I'm not really big on the whole status stuff.
I think she's nourishing people. I think she's feeding them. I think she's sustaining them. I think she's giving them something to feed their body, souls, mind, and have good conversations and relationships at the same thing. So I'm a big, everybody is important, needed, valuable. It's external.
Exactly.
That's somebody else's nonsense and judgment.
So many people are so focused on their job title and stuff like that. And I'm CEO of the company, so I get it. You need that.
But what did you do for fun? What was your beyond school? What are the activities that really drove you?
I was one of the OG online gamers way back.
Yeah.
What so games? Esports. Halo 1 for the Xbox was at one point and then it was Halo 2, and they used to have rankings, Bungie.net, and I was 20th in the world at the time, which was cool, and it was the biggest online game in the world, so I was one of the best Halo players in the world, but I loved online games, and I also did all the other stuff. So my mom and stepdad, they had what I refer to as a pleasure-centered paradigm. They think life is about having as much fun as possible. And this was the 90s. The 90s were wild in the U.S. in particular, but dot-com bubble, 90s, the economy's growing like crazy. So I playfully refer to from age 3 to 14 with my stepdad as boats and BS. Yeah. So motorcycle, trucks, snowmobiles, grew up on a lake. They had an apartment building. We had a yacht.
Like a lake that was a fishing lake or like skiing?
More like a small lake, big pond.
Okay.
But that whole part of my life, it would be easier to tell you what we didn't do. I was very grateful for two things. Number one, my mom and stepdad did not get along, and that's a polite way to put it. So my childhood in that sense was not good. However, when it came from experiences, we traveled, we did everything. Row boats, every sport you can think of. I experimented a lot. And I realize in hindsight now that I'm 36 that those early years were big for my development of just not only awareness, but skills. And,
Was it work hard, play hard?
Yes.
And then at 14, why the end at 14? Did that relationship fizzle?
Yes. So my stepdad left, 14, took his entire extended family with him. Still to this day, never seen or spoken to a single one of them since.
Oh, wow.
Yep. Same year, hardest year of my life, Mom got in a fight with my Aunt Sandy, her sister. We get ostracized from her side of the family. To this day, I've only seen or spoken to 2 human beings from her side. And we didn't associate much with the McCorkles anymore, my dad's side, because we were trying to be the Lazaroses. I took my stepdad's last name probably around age 7. And that same year, my sister moved out as well. So you want to talk about just challenging, loss, abandonment. So from 0 to 14.
How old was your sister when she moved out?
She was 17, 3 years older than me. Yep. And so up to this point, all I've ever really known is loss at 14. Right?
Well, so you've got achievement, recognition at school for the things you're doing, and then the relationships that you're having that you believe and people tell you should be stable and nurturing are appearing differently. And then, oh, by the way, people leave either by choice or by force. And now you're just left to dig into continuing to achieve because that's okay.
That's when I became a super achiever, quote unquote, where basically this is the cycle I was running unconsciously. I didn't know this at the time, but it was aim higher, work harder, get smarter. Like aim higher, work harder, get smarter. So there was 2 trauma responses. So there's fight, flight, freeze, and fawn. Fight is the aim higher, work harder, get smarter part behind the scenes when no one's watching. But socially, I became a chameleon. Fawn, appease, people pleaser, chameleon. And that's why I was so good at sales in corporate, because I could be anything for everyone. Because unconsciously at 14, and again, none of this was conscious, but unconsciously it was like, just don't lose any more friends and family. So be whatever other people need you to be.
Whatever you need so
in order
that
they stick around. 26 happens, I get in my car accident, and that's when I realize all of this. And I realize that I'm too much I'm basically everything for everyone and nothing for myself. And that's when I flipped the script. That was 11 years ago. And then I went all in on me again.
And you realize, okay, so you're hyper-achieving through high school. You go to college. You're hyper-achieving. You're getting then a double major, right?
So it was straight A's through high school. Yeah. All the scholarships and financial aid I could get, because when my stepdad left it, I didn't think I'd get into college. I didn't think I'd be able to go. I knew I'd get in, but my stepdad was he took 95% of the income. So we went from boats and ski trips to no cable. Like, I shop at Salvation Army. My mom trades in her BMW for a little Honda Civic. I get free lunch at school now because our income is so low. How do we keep the house and the family? We weren't going to starve, but definitely my college was $50,000 a year back then. So I went from I hope I get in to even if I do get in, I can't go. Straight A's through all of high school, get what's called the President's Award, all the scholarships and financial aid, engineering school, high distinction, master's in business, boom, boom, into corporate, and then I become a global top 1% earner within my early 20s. Paid off all my college debt in a single year. I have a bunch of money in a Vanguard account, all different tech stocks. So I just used my gifts, and I became the work hard, play hard thing. Yeah. I just ran that.
And what were you doing to play hard in that time?
Parties.
Pre-accident. Parties. Okay.
High school, we had the party house.
Okay.
College.
And parties look like in high school? Because I've heard about parties, but I was so fear-driven that alcoholism ran in our family, and I was starting to, and not our immediate family, but I saw it in some of the extended family, and I was terrified.
Yeah.
Terrified. How do you know which drink is going to be the drink? I didn't know. So, but what do cool people who are getting great grades and being the party house, what does that look like?
Never been asked that question before. On a public medium anyways. We had bonfires. Like I said, lake. We had 5 acres of land. We ran amok. And I got to be very transparent here. We had a freaking blast. Like an absolute blast. Crazy. Like I always joke, I partied enough for 12 lifetimes. I'm never going to have the midlife crisis I didn't live thing. That's not going to happen for me. And so that's exactly what it was. Socially, I was a chameleon, social butterfly, rally people together, that kind of thing. Privately, behind the scenes, I was unhappy and unfulfilled, so I used achievement.
Aha. Well, you're outwardly being this guy who's life of the party, having fun, bringing everybody along,
100%.
chameleon, blah, blah, blah. And
Yep.
then in the quiet moments, see now, like there was a time where I just kept going till I was exhausted, would get up and go again. And I never actually had to think and deal with stuff.
Imagine what your life would be like if your career aligned with who you are, what you do best, and actually fueled the life you want. At Next Success, we support all ages and stages through career transitions, from students exploring majors or careers to job seekers actively searching or reimagining their next move to professionals committed to self-awareness and leadership growth. Stay connected and explore what's possible at nextsuccesscareers.com and follow Next Success Method on LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook.
Did you have quiet moments where you had to think and deal with stuff?
Yes, always been quite the existentialist. I was always trying to figure out why most people are so miserable.
Ah.
And I was miserable too. Like, I feel like I had a thriving social life. I brought my high school friends to college friends to corporate. Literally, they had a referral program at my company. It was a company called Cognex. And their motto, by the way, was work hard, play hard.
Oh, nice.
That was their actual motto. I used to say work hard, play harder.
Love it. Okay. And in the off moments, what was that looking like? What was that feeling like with that you weren't articulating for other people to be aware because they could judge you should be happy?
Yeah, exactly. At this point, you're making so much money. At this point, I had a beautiful girlfriend, lived on a lake, our own place, making almost $200,000 a year in my early 20s. I paid off $84,000 worth of college debt in a single year. I had all tech companies in Vanguard and stocks and index funds. And I was just getting wealthy. And I had all these friends and friends of friends. And so behind the scenes, it was wildly unfulfilling. I was everything for everyone. I remember at one point I was like, how am I going to be in 11 weddings? Because I was going to be the best man and or in the groom's party of 11 people. Now, 0. I'm not going to be in any weddings now. And so all of that upbringing, a lot of other people loved it. Like people from my past, pre-26, all those people I grew up with, I think that they really loved their childhood. And for me, it wasn't for me. And at 26, I decided.
It was empty. You were feeling like something in your body. You were crying. You were sleeping. You were just like numbing your life with other substances. What was it for you?
The best way to describe it is, I don't belong here.
That just this inner feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're better than this, or these just aren't your people. This isn't it.
Both.
Okay.
The way that I would describe it is the people that I grew up with, I was a tourist, but I didn't move in. And my dreams saved my, small town, small-minded town, as upset as some people would get for me saying that.
Yeah.
I always had huge dreams, Caroline. Huge.
Okay. What are your huge dreams that you were having? What were these thoughts?
Okay, so I had a bunch, but there's 2 really serious ones that I genuinely intended on. I intended on all of them, but like pro gamer, Abercrombie model, all that kind of stuff, like kid's dream, right? But the 2 that I really actually sat down with myself and thought out, I was going to be lawyer, politician, president.
Okay.
Or I was going to be engineer, MBA, CEO, like my hero at the time, Steve Jobs. So I built my first computer at 12. I used to argue with my buddy Kiki, who's smarter, Bill Gates or Steve Jobs. And I used to think it was Bill. Now I think it's Steve. But at the end of the day, I wanted to be a Fortune 50 CEO like my hero, Steve Jobs. No longer my hero. And that's what I did. I just
no longer your hero because you realized what? Or because he's not, like what? Like what?
Yeah, everyone's a warning and an example. Steve did a lot of incredible things, obviously, but he didn't take care of his health.
Yep.
And he was toxic in his leadership at times.
Uh-huh.
And again, still a hero, but
With a perspective, right? Jim Rohn would say you can't pay somebody else to do your push-ups, right? So
yeah, exactly.
yeah. Okay. So are you having any of these realizations before this huge accident at age 26?
Yeah, there's whispers.
Uh-huh.
I always say your intuition, your highest self is whispering to you all the time, but sometimes those whispers become a scream after something really bad happens.
Yeah.
And so
Okay.
the car
walk us
accident, it
through
became a
this.
scream. Yeah.
Yeah. So
For sure.
you tell me more about that. It's what time of day? Where are you going? What are you doing? What's your thought? And then what happened?
Up in New Hampshire with my second cousin, Dan, one of the two people from my mom's side that actually did come back after
Okay.
the whole ostracization. He and I are going to TGI Fridays. We're playing Call of Duty Ghosts. I remember back then. This is back in 2015. Winter, bad winter. The snowbanks were covering the yield sign. And heading to TGI Fridays, not drinking, not partying, nothing crazy. I look down at the GPS. I look up, pickup truck. I'm on the wrong side of the road. I was supposed to yield, and I didn't. Head-on collision. Physically, we were okay. No one was killed, fortunately, because if we were, it would have been my fault.
Yeah.
This car accident was my fault.
Yeah.
And so luckily no one was killed. No one was permanently damaged. Like I said, the tank, I invested all my money. I didn't want a depreciating asset, so I'm so glad I bought the Volkswagen.
Yeah.
And we were very rattled, though. It was definitely not a fender bender. And so I was sitting in an armchair, drinking whiskey, contemplating my entire existence. And my dad died in a car when he was 28. So I'm sitting there just, okay, I'm 26. What if that was it for me? This is the second chance my dad never got.
Mm-hmm.
And that moment till now, I have put it all on the court. I used to live from the outside in. I didn't know it. I'm a warm-blooded American male with dreams. Like, of course you're going to be extrinsic.
Right.
But at 26, that's when I went inside out. Because I used to be externally extremely successful and internally unfulfilled, and I flipped the script. And I actually was fully fulfilled. Fitness model, fitness competitor, fitness coach, health first, fulfillment, start my own company, Alan Lazaros, LLC, what you'll never learn in school but desperately need to know. But I ended up broke. So I went from externally successful and internally unfulfilled to internally fulfilled and externally unsuccessful. I liquidated all my assets.
How is your mom
How is she now?
How was she? So here you are, you're 26, living the life, so successful, great thing, so proud of my son. And for her to get a call, hey, Mom, is it an accident? But I'm okay.
Yeah, I'm sure that was tough. Yeah.
And then you start questioning and having all these things, and then you do the complete flip, now internally fulfilled and now broke.
She had trouble with that, for sure.
Yeah.
And she even said, Alan, you have everyone else's dream. Like, you make six figures, all this stuff. I said, this is not my dream anymore.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And here's the truth, too. I'm 10 years in, 11 years to starting my own company. Everybody, almost everybody, not everybody, almost everybody doubts you.
Absolutely.
Like, it was insane. Oh, you're a podcaster now? Oh, you're a bodybuilder now? Just ridiculous. And by the way, what's hilarious? Nobody questions it anymore.
Now they don't, right?
Yeah.
Right. My husband is the only one not questioning. He's like, I know you. I know you.
Yeah.
There's
You'll make
always
it work.
an incubation period, and then you rise to the
You'll
top.
make it
I'm
work.
not worried. You're a safe bet, right?
Nice. Nice. In the beginning. And you know what's funny? I don't need you to believe in me now. I needed it back then. So I have that chip on my shoulder for sure, Caroline, and I'm never taking it off.
Okay, so then what happened to flip from all one way, all the other way, to then like defining the life that you want and having the career fuel it?
So that was 11 years ago, that car accident, and it's been a process for sure. And now I have a whole framework and I coach on it. And where do I even start? It started with personal development. Every personal development book I could get my hands on. And I'm talking Stephen Covey, James Clear, Jim Rohn, Tony, all of it. And I just put it all in here, baby. And I dialed up self-improvement and personal development and personal growth to 11. Every seminar, it was awesome.
Yeah.
Every speech I could find. And then eventually you realize, okay, it's interesting. So I've been in sort of 3 main phases of my life.
Okay.
One of them was professional development. That's the straight A's, engineering degree, master's in business, corporate. So I did the traditional road. I did the preschool, kindergarten, elementary school, middle school, college, corporate.
Yep.
Then I left corporate. So that was professional development.
Yeah.
That was IQ. Then I flipped it to fitness.
Yeah.
I was a fitness model, fitness competitor, fitness coach, 43 photo shoots, 3 fitness competitions. My whole world was fitness. And I went from 160 pounds, skinny fat, just not healthy, drinking too much and too often, to quitting drinking and being on stage winning trophies. It was unbelievable. It was really cool. And some of the best times of my life, honestly. Because if you're not healthy, you're not happy. You don't know the difference. Trust me. I've been unhealthy and I've been really healthy. It's unbelievable on this side.
Yeah.
And then I went entrepreneur land, which is basically the personal development. And so what you find in these 3 worlds, it's like fitness has some personal development and almost no professional development.
Yeah.
And then corporate has no fitness. Insane. Like, why does corporate have no fitness? It's weird.
Why are doctors doing residencies and getting no sleep?
That's what I'm saying.
Who wants a doctor that's been up for 70-something hours making a life or
Crazy.
death decision about you?
Crazy.
And these are the people that are pinnacles of sick care. But anyway, that's another.
But that's the thing, right? Professional development, like I've been at many tech companies and I worked for a bunch of tech companies, iRobots, Inside of Technologies, all these things. And it's okay, there's very little fitness and very little personal development. And then you go into the personal development space and there's some fitness, but there's no professional development. It's this weird siloed thing. And so that's what my brand has become, is the merger of fitness, personal development, and business. Because one thing you'll find, you're new in podcasting, but we work with 117 podcasters and business owners right now. We produce, we do all kinds of stuff. What you'll find is, and again, I don't want this to come off wrong, but I need to share it. There are a lot of people don't have real businesses.
Mm-hmm.
These are like solopreneurs who don't actually know how to build a real company. And that's actually what I do. So I'm not judging. There's not a lot of engineers in this space. That's the best way I'll put it.
Yeah.
And Kevin, when we built our business model, I said, this is the business model. This is the best business model in the game. I was playful. He's, how do you know? I said, there's no engineers in this space, dude. I've been in the corporate world. I know organizational design.
You know how to test it. You know the metrics. You know how it matters to have the metrics. You could just, yes. That's
and in
exciting.
the podcasting world, there's none of that. Almost none of that. There's
It's
a few,
loosey-goosey.
obviously. It's loosey-goosey. It is crazy. And listen, you're not going to win winging it. Imagine if Apple was like, yeah, we just wing it. We don't really track anything. What are we doing here? So I'm merging those worlds. Professional development, personal development, and fitness. I think they should be the same. And you can apply engineering principles to all 3 of them, and goal achievement and success and all that kind of stuff. So anyways, I digress. But ultimately, those are the sort of the 3 main phases. I went all in professional development while the party days. Then I went all in fitness to overcome the partying. Because to me, I set goals that required me to overcome partying. Because what's the worst thing for fitness is alcohol. So for me, I set a fitness goal that meant more to me than any social life. And so that was my transition from professional to personal development. And then I realized I'm merging all 3 now in my 30s.
And I like to also consider, so I'll say there's 8 factors to somebody's career decision and what could be the right thing for them in that next chapter. So it's, where are you in your career development stage? And there's multiple times in someone's life that they naturally start to question. And so it's going to come around again, right? And then what are your natural abilities? What are the things you've invested time, effort, and energy to learn? What are your interests? And those change, by the way, right? So telling a kid, go ahead, tell a 15-year-old, pick your college based on your interest. That 15-year-old 10 years before liked dinosaurs and cars, right? And 10 years from then is going to something completely different, and 10 years from then. And then it's going to be your personal style. So are you introvert, extrovert, generalist, specialist? What's your communication behavior? All those influence how you're showing up at work and the type of activities that are energizing or draining for you.
Nice.
Your family you come from
Yep.
and your family you have now, or your friendships or relationships, your goals, your values, considering all of those, then making a vision. What do you want your life to look like after going through all of those detailed? Of course, there's data-driven, scientifically backed, valid assessments. Under them, I have to have that underpinning. I wouldn't be the great scientist if I didn't, and I wouldn't feel comfortable. Because sometimes it's, oh, your inner knowing knows. awesome. And I don't know how to listen to that. So give me some hardcore data at beginning.
Yeah.
Or you can take an assessment. You can do Clifton Strengths.
Yeah.
Ooh, I'll take it 5 weeks later, and I'll take it 5 more weeks later again, and they were all freaking different. I'm like, I can't stand behind that.
You know what I think is the best assessment is looking through your own experience. Look through your own life. But here's the problem. When you're young, you don't have enough experience to actually have enough data to do it. But if you look at the last 36 years of my life, there are themes. There's through lines. There's patterns.
Yes.
What are you great at? What are you deeply obsessed with? And I say obsessed on purpose. And then what does the world actually need, and what is it willing to pay for? And it's very hard to find the epicenter of those three things. So you and I are obviously very passionate about engineering a career, engineering your passion, purpose, profit, career, all these things. And we can dig into that if you want to. Yes. Data-driven decision-making. Got to. Yeah.
And now also, though, I'm curious about this because I see you now have a podcast with your beautiful significant other as well. So it's going to be performance, relationships, and well-being. And so,
nice.
And there may come a time, I don't know, but is it in your future design to ever go from the two of you separate to possibly not, or family or any of that?
Absolutely.
Yes.
It's already part of the roadmap. So we already have the next 60 years planned out. I know that's wild, but yes, we're both extremely future-oriented, goal-oriented individuals, which is why it works. Right now, it's Conscious Couples Podcast. Eventually, it's going to be Conscious Parenting.
Nice.
And then it's going to be Conscious Business Owners. So we're going to have the company is called The We, and thank you for doing your research. I really appreciate it. I feel very respected. And the fact that you know about that is great. So we've been coaching couples for 5 years.
Nice.
One of our couples earlier this week, just got engaged.
You won't be in their wedding, but you will congratulate them.
Thank you. So you've really done your research. Okay, so yes. So how do you know that? So Caroline, that's exactly it.
Yeah.
To give a little context rather than me just sounding like a dick there, it's Emilia and I are extremely selective with what we do and don't do, and we have to be because we run 3 businesses between the two of us. Yeah.
So what does an ideal day look like for you? Like in Europe, you could dream it and you wake up and there's nothing you have to do and everything that you could want to do. What's your ideal day look like?
It's exactly what I'm doing today. So I break my days into thirds. I'm an engineer, so forgive me for that. But everything is by design in my life. And I know that that's not for everybody. Some people want to go with the flow. I get it. That ain't me. So I like flow, and I go with the flow within structure. So every day at 11 a.m., my first meeting is from 11 to 8 p.m. every single day. I do my first third is for me. So from when I wake up, which is luckily whenever I want now, which is awesome.
Yeah.
From when I wake up to when I have my first meeting at 11 a.m., it's for me. The first third is for me. Pour into myself. That's when we exercise. That's when I do my learning. My targeted learning is what I call it. My skill development. That's when I do me. I pour into me before I go pour in the world. The second is for service. So from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. every single day except for Sunday, Monday through Saturday, I am doing coaching, training, and podcasting. That's what I'm doing right now, podcasting. Then the third, after 8 p.m., we call it our heart out. In the military, we learn a lot from SEAL Team 6 and Delta Force because they obviously are the most elite.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the most elite people on planet Earth, basically. And they have something called a heart out. So at 8 p.m., it's a heart out, meaning we are done no matter what, close the store. Because in the 21st century, it's very hard to shut down work, especially when your work and your life is completely merged. So 8 o'clock hits, done, downstairs, boom, and then it's immediately food and family. And for us, our family is me, Emilia, we have a dog and 2 cats. And eventually it'll be more than that. But that Monday through Saturday, that's my schedule. And then Sunday is reflect and review. I still work on Sundays, back office, reflect and review. Yeah. But there's no front facing on Sundays. That has been a rule that's been unbelievable because it's basically like you don't have to dress up and go out there and serve. You just get to be. But Sunday is my favorite day of the week because I get to reflect on the last week and then improve the next week. And I get to, we go on little mini adventures and that kind of stuff. We were actually on the road last week we went from Massachusetts to South Carolina and back in 1 week. And I didn't miss a single coaching session.
If you do it again, I'm in North Carolina, right by the RDU airport. So come on over, pop by.
Very nice. We went through North Carolina. Yeah, awesome. Blue Ridge Mountains and all that. So That's my schedule currently. Honestly, that is my ideal life.
That's amazing. In this chapter, I will be so curious to see how that is modified as you hopefully someday do get to bring other humans into the world.
Yeah.
And yeah, because that was an interesting.
It will have to modify, for sure.
Yeah. Well, and you adapt and you do that and you grow and you love it and then you help guide other people. That's so amazing.
Yeah.
How do people work with you now? How can they find you?
Yes. Caroline, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. How can people work with me now? So this is what I always say. So I have a quadrant right over here. The y-axis is coachability, which is also humility. And the x-axis is work ethic. So I used to be, 10 years ago, I'll help anyone I can. That is a terrible idea, and I don't do that anymore. So all my clients, I teach them, you need your absolutely people and your absolutely not people.
Yeah.
So my absolutely people are in the upper right quadrant. High coachability, high work ethic. There's two types of people I do not ever work with. Number one is bullies. If you tear other people down to feel bigger and better about yourself, you can never come to me or talk to me ever. And number two is what I call spoiled brats. People who want huge rewards for minimal effort. I'm not your guy. I'm the ultimate tryhard, came from nothing. If you don't have work ethic, we're not going to work together. So assuming you have high coachability and high work ethic, you can go to nextleveluniverse.com. You can go to the Next Level University podcast. We do an episode every single day. It's self-improvement, personal development, and success principles in your pocket from anywhere on the planet, completely free every single day. Next Level You, not Next Level Me, not Next Level Kevin, but Next Level You. And it's just get 1% better every single day. Our episodes are anywhere from 20 to 30 minutes every single day. We never miss. 2,200 episodes at this point. And we're there to help you succeed and achieve your dreams. That's what we're about. And if you reach out on Instagram, Facebook, or LinkedIn, that will be me who gets back to you. Particularly Instagram. I check it every single day. So if you DM me on Instagram, if you want to have a conversation, assuming you have high coachability and high work ethic. But if you don't have high coachability and high work ethic, trust me, we're not going to get along, and I'm going to be a pain in your butt, and I'm not interested anymore, even though I did that for years.
I get it. One final question. I'm huge on authentic success, and authentic success is how you define it, no one else.
Yeah.
So in this moment, how do you define authentic success for you?
Doing all I can with all I have every single day, reaching my full potential and helping others do the same.
That's beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you again, Alan. I genuinely appreciate your time. And I would love to continue and possibly have you on again.
Let's do it, Caroline. Let's do it.
Alan, thank you for your clarity, your honesty, and your heart-driven approach to growth. Conversations like this remind us that achievement can take us far, but alignment is what brings us home. Alan's story shows how quickly life can shift and how powerful it is when we start living from the inside out. If this episode resonated, follow the show, share it with someone who's wrestling with these questions, and come connect with me on LinkedIn. You can also explore what an aligned, life-first career could look like for you at nextsuccesscareers.com. Thanks for listening to Your Next Success with Dr. Carolyn Sangal. Remember, authentic success is yours to define and includes aligning your career to support the life you want.